Hello, hello. We're going to be doing something different this trip. I'm going to be vlogging, going on a cruise by myself, just leaving the hotel, staying at my normal Town Place Suites by the Miami airport. It's affordable and clean. Just waiting for the lift to come get me. It's around 1 o'clock. My check-in time was 12:30 for the ship, but I had some work I needed to complete on Wi-Fi here in the hotel lobby after I left my room because I'm not planning to use my internet voucher on the ship until Sunday. So just finished up some work. I'm absolutely starving, so I'm gonna go straight to the ship, do my muster drill, and then get something to eat, and then we'll see what we're up to. I just made it on board. It's so weird to get on a ship when access to your cabins is already open. So it is 1:40. Normally we would get on 11:15, go have lunch and have to wait for our bags to be available. My bag is not going to be available because I just left it on the luggage cart. They're going to have to bring them up. Usually they start to arrive. They're out in the hallway already, but mine is not going to be there. So I'm going to start by going to eat. I wanted to show you what the room looks like, and then I'm going to go explore the ship. That's why I have my running shoes on. We have the whole day in front of us. So I don't have my little purse ready to go. It's in my big luggage, and I have a big luggage because I was in Florida for 6 days before this. I wouldn't necessarily bring an overnight bag on a 4-night cruise, but I do have my wristlet. It was in my knapsack, right? So that I was able to go. And then I've got some bills to tip for my free beverages. And then I'm just going to stick my stuff in the safe. I personally don't have any concerns about staff on cruise ships taking things. It's a big thing. If they were to take things, it would be worse for them than for me. But I know some people... where's lock? We are located near the aft of the ship. I don't know if the buffet is going to be at the aft or the forward. Honestly, it depends on the ship you are on. So let's go get some food. I'm going to go to the Windjammer. This ship has a taco tote, which I do plan on eating it's American style Tex-Mex, but I am wearing a white dress right now, so I don't really feel like dealing with the risk of getting salsa and guac and taco meat on my dress.
So this is the Windjammer Buffet. This is honestly where I take most of my meals. You walk in and they have sinks available to wash your hands as well as hand sanitizer. The first day on the ship, they have cake up at the front by the bar. And then each side is the same. So starting off with fruit, plates, and cutlery. Then you're going to pass a selection of hot foods. It depends which ship, how they arrange the food. But here we can see a variety of meats and pastas. And then the fruit and some desserts over here. There's a bigger dessert station further down. Soups, the salad bar. You can make a salad during almost any meal on the ship except breakfast, as my mother complained about last month. They still had some brunch items out. This was at lunch. Then another soup station. And then this is the main area of the buffet at the aft of the ship. You can see there's tons of seating. It's so well lit. I had a burger and some green beans. And it is pretty crowded because it's the first day of the cruise. I will not normally be here at this time. As you can see, Freedom of the Seas has a lot to offer. There's been a lot of amplifications on this older ship, and everything looks to be in such good condition since that amplification. A lot of the fixtures, the surfaces, the chairs, the tables, those high touch points, they looked really phenomenal on this ship, and it was very possible throughout the cruise to find lots of dead zones that are empty. Now, this is onboarding day, embarkation day, and so it makes complete sense that these areas at the forward and the aft are completely empty because first-time cruisers are exploring the core of the ship, getting unpacked, using the main areas. But I really like the opportunity to see where you can go while we are at sea on sea days.
Hey, so we are walking around the ship. I just came in this secret hallway. If you know that some ships have some suites right next to the pool deck, so I came in here to do a quick recording. We've walked around the pool areas, the splash pad area, the mini golf. I'm now going to go to the back of the ship, the aft, and look at the water slides.
Welcome to the top of the ship. This is one of the most famous areas on a Royal Caribbean ship. It's that big globe attached to the smokestack. On this particular ship, this bar is called the Olive and Twist, and it gives you a spectacular view over the port of Miami. It's also a really great place to work in the morning. We're going in through the right-hand side, and I'm going to access the Crown Lounge, which some people know as the Diamond Lounge. This is available to anybody with Diamond level status or higher on a Royal Caribbean ship. That's 80 nights at sea. And then there is Diamond Plus at 175 nights and Pinnacle at 700 nights. This is an area with extra seating. There is also an extra private patio. There is a espresso machine, a specialty ambassador who is available during specific office hours, and then there's hors d'oeuvres and bar service offered in the evening, typically from 5 to 8 p.m. I love this deck, this particular amenity on this class of ship. Not every ship has this private deck area overlooking the sports courts and the aft of the ship. I think I will spend a lot of my time in this particular area. You do need a Diamond level card access or higher to get back in, as you can see me struggling here. And this is a nice area with some private computer stations as well. I definitely don't spend all day in the Diamond Lounge, but it is a nice place to go to in the morning for coffee. This is a view over the kids' play area. This is from the elevator lobby. We're going to go down to the 4th floor. I like to take the stairs as much as possible on a ship, but for simplicity's sake in this video, we're going to take the elevator. We're getting out at deck 4. This is Bolero's. This is a bar adjacent to the promenade. Promenade is really the hub of this particular ship. Think about it like a pedestrian area with shops, bakery, restaurants, bars. All of the retail spaces are closed right now because we are still in port. Our U.S. regulations prohibit these retail spaces because they're tax-free from being open while we're in American waters. Once we sail away and then we enter international waters 11 miles away from the coastline, that's when the casino can open, the shops can open selling makeup, alcohol, cigarettes, duty-free. And so this is mostly people walking around the ship, becoming familiar with what's available. This is a really unique area on the right. This is a non-smoking casino. I've never seen one adjacent to the promenade. This is definitely part of the amplification. This is the British pub over here on the left. All of these places are free to sit and do whatever you want, whether you order a drink, whether you just chat, you scroll your phone. You do pay for drinks on the ship, alcoholic, soda, pop, or otherwise, but there's absolutely no requirement to, it's not like on land. You don't have to feel like you're taking up space and you can't sit there. Then you have Sorrento's Pizza. We're looking up at the other end of the ship, the open atrium. These rooms on the side of the promenade are really cool. We had one earlier this year on the Stargard Elite camp ship. They're not as noisy as you think. So let's head back to the room now. My suitcase has a...
So I'm back at the room. My bag was at the door, which was really nice. I think there's not a lot of people on the ship with large luggage because it's only a 4-night cruise out of Miami. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, people have a weekend bag that they brought on the ship. I am going to unpack. I have to manage quite a few things because I have already a week's worth of dirty clothing in my bag and that sort of thing. So I'm going to unpack. I'll show you the room afterwards, how I have it set up, take a shower, and then at that point, I'm going to probably either take a nap or go out and get a nice coffee and go upstairs for sail away. That's sort of the last opportunity to send any text messages or voicemails before the ship loses signal at sea. So we have some time. It's only 3 o'clock. I didn't check in the app when sail away is for this specific ship, but usually at the absolute earliest, it's 4 o'clock and usually closer to 5 o'clock. There's not a lot of ships in port. So I saw a Carnival ship behind us. We aren't going to have to wait for our position. Like sometimes when you're in Miami, there's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ships, and there's a specific order of the ships leaving. I'll put a embed to Cruise Spotter, the drone videographer. His stuff is great.
Y'all ready for this? Sometimes I feel like throwing my hands up in the air, hands up in the air. Hands up in the air, put your hands up in the air. This is the rhythm of the night. Do you believe?
Later.
I would like to wish you all a warm welcome aboard the Freedom of the Seas.
I would like to share some important information to you regarding our itinerary this cruise. Together with our weather team back in our headquarters, we've been monitoring some bad weather developing over the Turks and Caicos region area. And this storm seems to be growing over the next couple of days. Due to this very poor weather coming our way down to the east, we had to change and unfortunately skip the port of Grand Turk and instead head west towards Cozumel and Mexico. If we would go down to Turks and Caicos, we'll be looking at heavy rain, strong winds, storm and gale force winds on all trip down there, and a lot of bumpy seas in the Atlantic Ocean going down to Turks and Caicos. We're terribly sorry for this last minute change caused by the weather, but as always here in Royal Caribbean, your safety is our top priority.
And we're back. Was having a little bit of a nap when the captain's announcement came on. Can't say that I'm particularly surprised because I did catch the news last night in my hotel in Miami, and I saw that Hurricane either Hidalgo or Hugo was forming, and although it was heading towards I believe Savannah or Charleston on a diagonal, one of the big things with cruising is you get what you get and you can't be upset. And so Labadee was the original port of call, then it was Grand Turk when Labadee's been closed for 6 months. Now we're going to Cozumel. I'm not actually upset. I haven't been to Cozumel in a couple of years. Our last stop in Cozumel was pouring rain. We didn't get off the ship. So I'm looking forward to just walking around. It is a very crowded port in the sense that some of the hawkers and taxi cabs are a little bit more annoying, but we'll deal with that when we get to Cozumel on Saturday. Have a restaurant I want to go to, places I can walk around, public beach. So we're going to make the best of it. It's going to be good. It's better than a cruise to nowhere. Whole reason I'm on this cruise is because we are just a few points shy of Diamond Plus. And so looking at the price of the loyalty perks versus the cruising, that is basically why I'm on this cruise. Plus it was the day after my work with the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance CPO instructor school. So I was able to take the taxi down from Fort Lauderdale last night to Miami. The cruise fare was very affordable, even though I'm on my own. So it'll be nice to have just a couple of days to relax, enjoy the ocean, go to Cozumel, I guess, and catch up on some reading and some sleep. So I am going to get up and get going because the announcement you heard is usually a good sign that the ship is getting ready to leave. I also think the engines are on. I felt the rumbling, I believe, while I was in the bed. So I'm going to give you a quick tour how I unpacked, get dressed, and then we're going to pop upstairs, see if we can see sail away. So I don't do anything special in the room, but lots of people have asked me how I kind of set up my room. I have a huge stack of magazines because that's my number one goal this weekend. Have a sleep mask, have an alarm clock. This is absolutely critical when you're dealing with lots of time zones, which we're not doing this week, but I have from my work in Florida this week. Whoop. I have a second lanyard for my CPAS card. This is one I can use during the day. And then I have the shorter one that I'll be using at night, like a wristlet. I have my suitcase under the bed with all of my dirty clothes. I probably won't be doing much with the fridge. I may get some beverages, but probably not. I'm not going to use any of the drawers. This is just a 4-day cruise. I have my computer set up. I wouldn't normally have this full setup on a regular cruise necessarily, but because I just came from a work trip, I have all of my working stuff. Really important, if you have sweaty clothes or bathing suits, you put them as best as you can under a vent. The bathroom is where a lot of people put their things to dry, and honestly, the moisture in the bathroom, like I took a shower earlier and these towels will be replaced more likely than they'll dry. There is a whole bunch of storage. I will not be using any of this. Obviously, if you're on the open ocean, then you do need to put your stuff away or it's going to fall over. But I feel pretty confident, I'm just by myself this weekend, that this is plenty of space. Not using any of the drawers down here. And then I am overpacked because of the humidity and because of work. So certainly this is not really a vacation dress. This is more of an office conference dress, but who knows, I may use it one evening if it's windy. And then I have a variety of summer dresses because I'm going to change probably twice a day in this humidity. I have a beach bag that is discreet. I'm not taking a nice purse or a knapsack onto whether it was Cozumel or Grand Turk. Have my wallet, my quarters, and my money in here. I have about $100 in $1 bills, $2 bills, US dollars for tipping. Underwear and socks. This is my pool shelf. So I've got my rash guard, my sunscreen, my bathing suits, 2 bathing suits because of the aforementioned humidity issues. I have a hat. I have a cover up to go into the dining room or the buffet. I have our chair clips for towels, contact lenses, water bag for going to the beach, hair straightener, toothbrush because I'm away. This toothbrush charger is because I'm going to be away for over a week, and so my toothbrush wouldn't work. Plain t-shirts, knapsack that I probably won't use on the ship, but for the airport, Monday, airport clothing, laptop case, charging cords, etc. And then up at the top I have AV, so SLR camera, headphones, charging cables, gimbal, all of those sorts of things. So yeah, very spacious, plenty of room. I'm just going to get dressed and then we're going to pop out and see what's happening. So just a quick change. I have my little evening purse. I like using this on the ship if I don't need a full bag. I have some Tic Tacs, some tipping money, some business cards, because if you're a business owner, you never go anywhere without a business card. My CPAS card, and just a casual, I like a long sleeve dress on the ship because if you're going in and out of the AC, but it's flexible, very comfortable and loose. The dress code on this ship, I can already tell, is very casual weekend cruise party vibe. Everyone I've passed has been in shorts and t-shirts. Might be different on formal night, but this will be great. One of the things I did want to touch on, somebody will probably ask, why didn't they tell us about the itinerary change before we got on the ship? And realistically, they probably only truly made the decision in the last 12 hours. And then they didn't want to front end that bad juju on the poor minimum wage employees in the terminal. I've gone on itineraries where they hand you a change of itinerary paper and nobody's happy. It wasn't done far enough in advance to send an email. I'm not surprised of the itinerary change based on my own weather tracking. Let's go upstairs and see what's happening for Sail Away. I'm back in the room. It is 6:40. I came to get my glasses because I'm going to go see the ice show and I'm not blind without my glasses, but it would be better with the glasses. The ice show is at 7:30. I actually didn't realize this ship had an ice show. I was looking in the cruise compass while I was seated upstairs, so I'll probably get dinner afterwards. Last we met, I was leaving the room around 4:15 to go up for sail away after the captain's announcement. That's usually a good indication that we're about to sail away. One of their final clearances is to do all of those emergency items.
Following this announcement, the emergency signal will sound in compliance with the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea. No action is required of you at this time. This signal is for your awareness in the unlikely event of a real emergency. Thank you for your attention, and please stand by for the emergency signal.
When I left the room, I was talking with Barbara, who is my stateroom attendant from Nicaragua. I do make an effort to get to know the stateroom attendants, ask about their families, ask about how long they've been on ships, just chat with them, not, under false pretenses, but they're on ships for 6, 7, 8 months at a time, working 7 days a week. So yes, I also tip my stateroom attendant, but chatting with them, asking about their day, I would imagine is some break from the monotony. I wanted to go get a snack. The buffet was closed, so I went up to the Crown Lounge. I had a coffee and just a coffee from the machine there. I knew if I went down to Starbucks, the line would probably be equally long because Cafe Latitudes or Sorrento's Pizzeria on the promenade are also usually pretty slammed at 5 o'clock. If you've got screaming kids and you're hungry and the buffet doesn't open till 6 and you don't want to go get dressed for the dining room. So one of the things I always tell people about cruising is be flexible. We'll just kind of see what we get up to.
This is a song, it may be quite simple, but now that it's done,